Alright, today what we're going to do is we're going to learn about different file formats to prepare our graphics for the web. So you've drawn your little shapes in Adobe Illustrator, and what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to put them now in your slides onto Google. So what we're going to do is you've created your shapes, and you need to have good habits of just going File, Save As. So when you save as, I'm going to put it down here in Testing Files, Adobe Illustrator has an extension of AI. So I'm just going to call this Testing, and that's not artificial intelligence as in robots, but as in Adobe Illustrator. And I just, for good habits, I'm going to put AI here. So this way it maintains all my layers and all of my good stuff that Adobe offers. Alright, to get things ready for the web, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to File, Export. Now I have a few options. I have Export for Screens and Export As. Obviously, we're exporting this for a computer screen because Google Slides is out on the web and it's for computer screens. This would be an obvious choice. Export for screens. When we come here now, we have a few choices. This becomes kind of tricky and most students get tripped up here. Adobe will most likely default this to all. And notice it's going to do all artboard. And you're going to end up with a big space over here. And then you always ask me, why do I have a lot of extra space? It just didn't do my graph. Well, this was the step that was most likely missed. But let's just go ahead and save, select all. The range is 1. And I'm going to go ahead and export the artboard so you can see what it is. So artboard 1 as a ping file. I'm going to go ahead and hit replace because I have a few already in here from trial. And it's saved. So I'm going to replace that one. Let's do it again. File, Export, and I'm going to go Export for Screens. This time I'm just going to do full document. Now what it's going to do, it's going to recognize just what I have on my artboard. So if you have one little pixel out here that you don't see and it picks it up because the computer will see it, it's going to try to put that as part of your image. So it's really important to keep your artboard nice and clean. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to export that full document, and I'm going to put it in my testing file, export artboard, and I'm going to put it all in here, so that's good. Okay, let's take some extra looks at some other options we have. File, Export, and then we have Export As. Alright, when we get here, we have, here's my artboard, and we have this pull down list. We have AutoCAD, it's not an AutoCAD. Alright, we have DX files, bitmap, that's the old version of Paint. We don't want to do that. That's like putting a VHS tape in a DVD player. That's old. Alright, that's programming. We don't want to do that. Okay, metafile, that's what Microsoft Word uses. This is Flash. Let's take a look at JPEGs because we still use JPEG. So we're going to go ahead and save this as a JPEG, and I'm going to go ahead and change this just because I have I want to see what the file is. So I'm going to do JPEG. It's going to ask me to replace because I already have one in there. And here this dialog box opens up. CMYK, as I've talked before, CMYK is for print. We're not printing this, it's for our computer screens. So we want to make sure we stay in the RGB. CMYK, yearbooks, newspapers, magazines. RGBs for screen. So when we come down here a little bit further, your computer screen might want to default down here to high 300. Again, that's for print. We're doing screen, so we only need 72. The smaller the file size, the faster your images are going to load. When you make a website or you do a Google slide, if your pictures are going to take a long time to load, people are going to get frustrated. So just go ahead and make it 72, and we're going to go ahead and click OK. And it should be done. I don't see a dialog box coming up, so we're good. That was a JPEG. Let's look at one more. We're going to go to Export As. Okay. Now we have a JPEG. Let's take a look at a few other options. Okay, we have Macintosh. We have Photoshop. Now the web doesn't read Photoshop, but because Adobe, Illustrator, and Photoshop, they're both Adobe, they give us an option to export our images for Photoshop. But let's go down here to Ping. Let's take a look at Ping. Ping is a neat little file format, PNG, testing Ping, and we're going to hit export. Now take a look at our options here. Resolution 72. Make sure if it defaults to 300, we're going to pull it down to 72. Now what's kind of cool about our background, I'm going to be honest with you and just tell you straight up, when you do a JPEG, it's going to default your background to a white box. So when we see our different JPEGs, you're going to see a white box. With Ping, now we have an option to have transparent, or black. That's what's going to make it cool about pings, because some of us want our images with a transparent background, so when we put our image on top of text or another image, you can see what's behind there. So that's why we like ping files, is because of this transparent option. Again, when you take a little test for me, or you're going to have a golden opportunity, the advantages of a ping is because of the transparent background. All right, let's go ahead and hit OK. Now let's take a look at what these look like in our presentation. When we insert our pictures, we're going to choose image. Let's take a look at our different upload files. We have an EPS here. That's our JPEG. Remember, our JPEG is going to have a white box. Oh, that's the one from earlier. But you can see how it put a white box around our image. All right, let's take a look at our different options we have. Choose image. Let's take a look at, not EPS, let's take a look at testing ping. Okay. Notice now we have a transparent background. Okay. Let's take a look at our another option here. Let's get our testing JPEG and get rid of the other picture that I was using earlier. Notice the white box. Let's go ahead and delete this one so we have what I just showed in our video. Okay, notice the white box. So this is a JPEG. This will be a ping. And I believe we had some other options here. And then we have our AI. Now what happens with an AI, I believe it's not going to be able to read it. Oh, it went ahead and put it in there. Nice. Okay, transparent. And let's see, what else did we do? Oh, see how it defaulted? Oh, that's because when we exported, let's go back over here. When we did file export for screens, it defaulted it to the ping file. So that's what, let me get down here, cancel. And cancel, that's what this one is here. So this one here for the AI file should not be able to be read by Adobe right there. So this is a big hiccup when we students say I can't upload a file. So we're going to close that, cancel, and let's go one more. That's the bell, so students are going to start coming in. And remember how we did one that was the full artboard? Here it is, artboard 1. Hit open. The very first one, see now how it did the entire artboard. And so that gets a little frustrating for students when you forget to not check the artboard. So let me go back over here. And that artboard was when we export for screens. If we choose all, it's going to do the entire artboard. So again, artboard, see how it did the entire artboard. So we want to make sure that we know what we're exporting. JPEGs have the white box. Pings have a transparent. Make sure that the artboard is checked off because this tends to annoy everybody. All right, you guys, now you know how to export your images from Illustrator, and you should be now able to put them nicely into your Google Slides.